It's going to be a gradual transition. Meanwhile, we'll still need a lot of oil. We'll need oil for jetliners and so forth. But, you know, the Germans fought World War II with the liquefaction of coal and making gasoline out of coal. There's something, and we've got the world's largest coal deposits. The technology to make gasoline out of it exists, and nobody's talking about it. I don't understand it.
All right. Do you accept his idea that he doesn't believe that global warming is produced by man activities, human beings' activities?
Well,
you don't believe that, do you?
So
he's going to get himself in trouble like I did.
No. So the way I look at the CO2 thing is that we're running an experiment, which is to see what the CO2 capacity of the oceans and atmosphere is before Earth gets cooked. I don't think that's a wise experiment. That experiment, let's say that experiment is 99% likely to show that CO2 is no problem, but 1% likely to show that it's going to cook the planet. I don't think we want to take that 1% chance. It's just not smart.
You think 1% is the right number?
I think it's more than 1%.
You think it's what?
Well, it depends on when and how many trillions of CO2 get pumped into the atmosphere. Yeah. There's no question that at a certain level, it will destroy the Earth, or destroy large portions of the Earth. The question is just what is that level, and how soon do we stop pumping vast quantities of CO2 into the atmosphere? Given that oil and even coal are a finite resource, it doesn't seem to make sense that we would run that experiment when we have to get off them anyway, because they're simply finite.
What was your motivation to do all this?
So my motivation, actually, for all my companies has been that to be involved in something that I thought would have a significant effect on the world. And when I was in college, there were three areas that I thought would most affect the world. One was the internet, the other was sustainable energy, both production and consumption, and the third was space exploration, particularly making life multiplanetary. So as things have turned out, I've been able to be involved in all three.
What are you doing in terms of the planetary exploration?
Well, SpaceX.
A private rocket company.
Yeah, so NASA selected my company, SpaceX.
Well, I want you to tell them about it.
Oh, okay, sure. I run two companies, Tesla and SpaceX. Right. SpaceX is short for Space Exploration Technologies, right. And we build giant rockets and spacecraft, and NASA selected us to take over the cargo transport function of the space shuttle. We'll be doing our first mission to the space station hopefully in January, so that'll be a big milestone. We've done several rocket launches already, and we build the whole rocket from scratch in California, actually. From raw metal comes in, we build the engines, the structure, avionics, guidance, control, and then we launch from Cape Canaveral, and we'll be launching.
This makes him your kind of guy, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. He's a hardware guy.
May I say that I really like Bob Lutz?
Yeah.
By the way,
did you read his book here, though? Car Guys versus Bean Counters?
I've not received a copy of his book.
Well, you heard him talking about it, and you told me you agreed with most of the things he said.
Yes, I actually agree with most of the things that Bob says, and I have a lot of respect for Bob. I just want that to be clear, because sometimes people may sort of make it out that somehow I don't like Bob, but I have a tremendous amount of respect for Bob and think he's awesome.
So you want to come here and peer with him?
Yeah.
Right.